Truthspresso, episode 35.
Face it, we all would rather sleep in this morning. That's why God gave us espresso, to kickstart our zombified corpses into hyperdrive. And now, giving your mind and soul the morning shot of truth it craves. This is Truthspresso with Daniel Minnick.
Hey friends, Daniel Minnick here. Before we get into our topic, I just want to let you know about my free ebook, Jesus, God Among Us. It will strengthen your faith by explaining who Jesus is and what he did for you. Get to know him deeper today than you ever imagined. Snag your copy of my free ebook, Jesus, God Among Us, by going to truthhub.org/Jesus. That's truthhub.org/Jesus. Hey everyone, Daniel Minnick here. If you are just listening to your very first episode of Truthspresso with this episode, then you're probably not going to get a very good idea about what Truthspresso has been all about. But this episode is going to take us back to 2015, where I had an ambition to start a podcast, but I didn't quite do it the right way, and I was a little bit overly ambitious. And I had ideas of topics to discuss on episodes of the podcast, which I was calling the Truth Hub podcast, but I was overly ambitious in this way. I wanted to have some kind of fake infomercial, a rather humorous fake infomercial. At least in my mind, I believed that it was humorous. I was intending it to be humorous, but that was the idea, and it kind of pulled me down a bit. I didn't release episodes very often because I had this expectation that I would have to be able to write a script for an infomercial, record it, and prepare it every time I wanted to do an episode. And so that did not allow me to go very far with the now defunct Truth Hub podcast. But for your listening enjoyment, I am going to resurrect some of those commercials. The first one up on our agenda for this episode is called Robo Pastor 3000. The idea for this commercial was kind of to make fun of some of the very seeker-sensitive churches, or maybe even emergent churches, and kind of run a thought experiment. What if some company came up with this product that was really a robot for a pastor? And we'd think of how churches might receive having a robot for their pastor. And you can think of some advantages and disadvantages of it. You know, a robot might be less prone to making some kinds of mistakes. A robot, since it's a computer, might be able to have all this sermon material memorized and be able to preach on demand. And of course, a robot, while it requires its own maintenance with electricity and things like that, or changing the batteries. You know, if a robot pastor would actually run on batteries, I don't know how that would work, but either way, a robot pastor would not have to take a long sabbatical or have other problems that we have as human beings. And so, without further ado, enjoy the Robo Pastor 3000 infomercial.
Is your church looking for a new pastor?
Boy, I'll say.
Are you searching for that perfect Bible scholar to take the podium and lead God's flock to the next step?
No more slimy standards, just give me Jesus.
Then your wait is over.
Whoa!
Introducing the new Robo Pastor 3000, a breakthrough turnkey solution from kitchen sink electronics for the struggling church of the 21st century.
Hi, I am Pastor. Please give me a name. Welcome to Please Record Your Church. We're glad you're here today.
Wow, he's so handsome.
Yes, no more overweight, unsightly pastors making your church look bad. The Robo Pastor 3000 is slim and trim and comes with interchangeable wigs in 5 separate colors and 20 different styles, so your new pastor can look hip and relevant wherever your church is located.
Our last pastor retired early and we needed a new pastor bad. I found the Robo Pastor 3000 on eBay and knew that he was God's will for our little church. No more extra long sermons, sabbaticals, or sick days. It's a dream come true. We just had to budget a little more for electricity.
No more hours in the office studying for sermons. The Robo Pastor 3000 has the whole Bible memorized in 250 English translations and 120 foreign languages, including the original Greek, Hebrew, and Aramaic.
Wow, he's like so smart.
And for the crusty old fogies in your church who want to pretend that it is still the year 1853, the Robo Pastor 3000 comes complete with sermon collections from Spurgeon, Wesley, Whitfield, and Edwards.
Not quite the same with this newfangled contraption, but I'll take it.
The Robo Pastor 3000 comes included with licenses to marry and perform funerals. He can also sing like Caruso, dance like Elvis, and host church parties that will be sure to draw a harvest of souls into your church.
I like our new pastor.
Yeah, he's like so dreamy.
And if you act now, we'll include the Robo Pastor's Wife 3000 for free.
What? Ah, drat.
The Robo Pastor's Wife 3000 can cook, sing, teach women's devotionals, and organize church movie nights and concerts.
It's nice to have another woman in the church who understands my taste in men and decorating.
So don't let the 21st century slip by your church. Get your Robo Pastor 3000 and Robo Pastor's Wife 3000 today for just $99,999.95. No minimum deposit. Consult a doctor and a lawyer before use. Side effects may include nausea, vomiting, or indigestion. Keep away from fire. Do not attempt to assemble if smoking or pregnant. Add $99.95 for shipping and handling. Other restrictions may apply. Some assembly required. Batteries not included.
That was just totally great. And of course, I intended to be humorous there with that ending fine print. I would basically splice together ideas from different types of products, and that really was my intention, to be humorous, to tie in different products and services together, splice them together as if this one product, is assembled. It doesn't include or run on batteries, or it has side effects like a medical prescription drug, or, all kinds of things like that. I had fun doing that, but okay. So the next infomercial to get to is the kitchen sink Interlinear. Now, what is an Interlinear? An Interlinear is a Bible that has more than one translation on it, and usually an Interlinear will have separate columns, or maybe the left page will have one translation, the right page will have the other translation, and they keep all the verses parallel, or say one column on each page has one translation. Like, for instance, the Jehovah's Witnesses published what they called the Kingdom Interlinear, which has the New World Translation, the English translation of their Bible, and then they have the Greek text next to it for each verse, so that was supposed to give Jehovah's Witnesses a study guide as they went door to door. And some Christians make uses of interlinears, and I thought I would make an infomercial that would kind of have fun with that by making an interlinear that kind of goes so far as to be almost unusable. Like, think of how large a book would have to be to have basically 12 different translations of the Bible, all on one page, all in separate columns, and how small the font would be and how heavy this book would be, and it basically goes beyond its usefulness as a resource for study and becomes something that's an eye strain and so heavy to wield around that the age of the smartphone and Bible software makes something like that completely unnecessary. But, here we go. Without further ado now, the infomercial for the kitchen sink Interlinear.
Having a hard time studying the Bible?
Dude, those genealogies really get me.
Want to have your Bible and the latest scholarly research all at the tip of your fingers?
Yeah, dude.
Then Kitchen Sink Productions has the perfect tool for you.
Is this like another eSword or BibleWorks or Olive Tree app for my smartphone?
No, it's the Kitchen Sink Interlinear Bible.
Huh?
Yes, never leave your home without it. The Kitchen Sink Interlinear Bible comes equipped with 100 English Bible translations, 50 foreign languages, 8 commentaries, Strong's Concordance, and Greek and Hebrew texts and lexicons, all in a neat and tidy interlinear format.
The Kitchen Sink Interlinear Bible is my ultimate resource for Bible study. I can't believe they packed so much into one 80-pound volume. The only problem is that I need my reading glasses to read the 4-point font.
With the Kitchen Sink Interlinear Bible, you will have everything you need to handle the toughest challenges from the world.
You know them JWs that come knocking on my door on Saturday mornings are tough cookies, but I'll be ready for them next time. I got my Kitchen Sink Interlinear sitting on my bookshelf. When they show up, I'll be able to argue John 1:1 with them and prove that Jesus is God from the Hittite and Sanskrit. I'll blow them away with my 150 Bible canon salute. Thanks, Kitchen Sink.
And the Kitchen Sink Interlinear color codes each translation so that they are easier to find.
It's a rainbow of fun.
So, order your Kitchen Sink Interlinear Bible today for just 5 easy payments of $99.95.
No CODs. This product is not sold in stores. May require a credit check or other financial verification. Not to replace regular fitness program. Consult your doctor or chiropractic if back or neck pain occurs within the first 48 hours of use. Discontinue use if chronic cough or bleeding begins. Other restrictions may apply. Some assembly required. Batteries not included.
That's just great. A book that is both an apologetic tool and a workout routine. Nice. So our third infomercial for your listening enjoyment is the WaveSave smartphone. Now, this idea I actually got from a discussion in a college classroom where the teacher was teaching what he thought were going to be technological advancements. This was, I think, around 2002 or 2003, and there were ideas of newspapers that would be digital and have the words change and the advertisements change, and some of these predictions were somewhat accurate in the years that have followed, and other ones not so much. But as cell phones were kind of new, and this was before the smartphone, this was before Apple famously unveiled the very first iPhone in 2007. So this was about 4 years before that, and in the classroom, the teacher was discussing communications technologies. We had cell phones, and we had the cellular signal, and we had issues with receiving cell phone signals in rural areas and towers and all that stuff. We still have that today, but at the time there was speculation about how we can get better bandwidth for cell phones. And the teacher mentioned that a lot of companies would love to use microwaves for communication technology because microwaves can send an awful lot of bandwidth, but The only problem is that making heavy use of microwaves for such a thing as wireless technology communications would kind of possibly, at least in his mind, maybe I'll trust him on this, that it would basically cook society, or at least expose a lot of people to radioactivity, or, something like that. Like, there were good reasons why phones have not adopted microwaves, and it's not just because the technology isn't there, it's just that they are not able to be contained in a way that wouldn't be hazardous to people's health. And so I took that idea to come up with my idea of the WaveSave smartphone and how it really would improve the bandwidth. And this, of course, the kitchen sink, my token company that produces all these amazing products, would pitch this to people and who are tired of having their bandwidth restricted. And of course, since microwaves would make the phone hot, there was also the double use of getting apps in the phone's app store that can be used for real life things like ironing and cooking and stuff like that, So this was my fun in experimenting with a phone that operates on microwaves for communication. And so enjoy the commercial as it demonstrates how wonderful it is, but how hazardous it is, and how cautious people would have to be to the point of not really being able to enjoy the phone in the first place. So here we go, the WaveSave smartphone.
Cell phone companies throttling your bandwidth?
Yeah, dude. I can't play my online multiplayer 3D universe of Battlecraft on the go because my cell phone provider slows it down to a 3.5 frames per second crawl. It's like totally bummer.
Do they cap you down to gigabits that you can count with your fingers?
I like to watch live streaming videos of my dog Precious when I'm away from home, just to be sure he's okay when mommy's not around. But my fascist phone company makes me pay through the nose after the first 10 minutes of each month. Doesn't anybody understand a mother's need to care for baby?
Then it's time you stand up and take it no more. Now you can. Kitchen Sink Electronics presents you the new WaveSave phone. It's the first and only cellular smartphone and service powered entirely by microwaves.
Whoa!
Yes, microwaves provide speeds and bandwidth up to 1,000 times the cellular signal in the big cities. And microwaves are 80% cheaper to produce, too.
Cool. Why didn't my cell phone company think of that? I'm going to switch today.
And unlike other smartphones, you can download and install a microwave app from the Kitchen Sink App Store that can really cook your food right from your phone. Yes, iPhone fans, there is an app for that, but not for your piece of cultic technology.
Sorry, Kitchen Sink. I'm sticking with my iPhone. Unless Apple supplies a cover for the WaveSafe that has the trademark half-eaten apple on the front.
Well, suit yourself, snobby little fanboy. Those of us who call ourselves humans are ready for the 21st century technology. Other cool apps for the WaveSave include a blowtorch, a quick skin tanning lamp, and a taser simulator. Microwave heat is adjusted appropriately for each app.
I was getting sick of lame apps and poor reception for my so-called smartphone. When I got the WaveSave phone from Kitchen Sink, I could download 50 full-length feature films in just 30 seconds. By then, my phone was hot enough that I could use the ironing app to get the wrinkles out of my work clothes. Kitchen Sink is the bomb.
Please use the Kitchen Sink WaveSave smartphone responsibly. Your phone can get red hot after significant use. You may also notice the air temperature climb steadily if used indoors. Do not use the WaveSave smartphone if you or anyone else within a mile radius is pregnant, smokes, is putting gasoline in a vehicle, or is using any flammable product. The Kitchen Sink WaveSave smartphone may be subject to stringent use restrictions by your local municipality. Consult your doctor and lawyer before purchase or use. Severe radioactivity, leukemia, brain cancer, or death can occur if the WaveSave phone is not used carefully. Recommended use no more than 30 seconds in an 8-hour period by a maximum of 5 responsible users in a 20-mile radius. The high-speed, maximum efficiency, microwave-enabled kitchen sink WaveSave smartphone. Take charge of your bandwidth. Available today for $999.95.
Goodbye throttling. Hello, WaveSave.
May not be available in all 50 states. Kitchen sink cannot be held liable for injury, illness, or death resulting from excessive use of microwaves. The WaveSave smartphone is pending ban in 115 major cities. No CODs, not refundable, batteries not included.
Well, I hope you enjoyed those goofy fake infomercials that I attempted to create years ago in the hope of making my podcast really shine, but alas, I just did not have the time or the brain functionality to make kitchen sink show up week after week or even once a month. I'm sure that if I were able to crank out kitchen sink commercials, I would totally have been dominating the podcastosphere, or whatever you want to call it, but that's the way things go. So I hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more exciting, practical, or goofy episodes from Truth Espresso.
Thank you for waking up with Truth Espresso. Good morning, and God bless your day.
Hey friends, Daniel Minnick here again. If you liked waking up to this episode of Truth Espresso, I would really appreciate it if you would rate it on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or whatever application you use to listen to Truth Espresso.